Okay, are you ready to practice part 3 for IELTS speaking? I'm going to use the topic of success and politics to get us started. What does part 3 show? What does the examiner want to see? Your ability to discuss in more depth, deeper topics, better vocabulary, more advanced grammar as well, and also to show your ability to develop ideas or argument, opinion, and also show that you can clarify and negotiate meaning. Don't be afraid to ask the examiner to repeat a question or tell the examiner what you think he or she means. That is okay. So let's practice. How would you define success? Think about your answer. Okay, talk with me. For me, success is simply being able to do what you want to do when you want to. It's about control. That might sound a little bit selfish, but if you can achieve success like this, you can be happier and then you can help others too. How did my model answer compare to what you would say? Also notice this little word here, if. This is a very useful little word in part 3. Don't forget you have to answer the question. Don't go off the topic or get distracted. Do you have the same idea of success as your parents do? Or maybe she will ask in the past about when your parents were younger. Are you ready? Have you thought about your answer before I show you a model? No, not at all. They think success is having respect from the community and earning lots of money, which is great if you're happy doing that. So that's what being successful might look for some people. But as I said before, success to me is having some control over your own life. Also notice that the student uses stress to contrast. So they think success, but as I said before, success to me, so I stress they for the parents and me. Next one. Listen carefully to any hints in the question. Like this one says, to what extent, how much, how far. Will you? So the examiner wants to hear you showing future grammar. And why? You must give reasons. Can you think about your answer? Well, that's a hard question to answer because I can't imagine having children. I guess I'll just encourage them to find their own path to happiness and hopefully success will come naturally. Having said that, I wouldn't want them to fail. No, of course not. Such natural English. The student used I'll, hopefully, and wouldn't. And the student was also honest because it's difficult when you're a young IELTS student to imagine having children. Of course, many IELTS students already have children, so they can talk about when their children are older. No problem. Don't forget, in part 3, it is an opportunity to show more advanced vocabulary. What role do you think failure plays in a person's success? Have you thought about your answer? I have to think about that. I've been lucky so far. Maybe luck is more important. But seriously, failing helps you to figure out what you really want. It helps you understand your weaknesses and what to do to improve. So it certainly plays a role, but it can be quite damaging to someone's confidence too. How is your vocabulary? Look at this one. But seriously, understand your weaknesses. It plays a role. It can be quite damaging, and the word confidence. Maybe you have quite good speech, but you're not using high enough vocabulary. So this is good practice for you. Let's keep going. Don't forget you have to analyze the question. Try to listen for hints. Sorry, I have to move my head again. Can you think of any famous people who encountered failure before their success? So this one, you must give examples. Tell the names. Be specific. Well, it's well known that Albert Einstein had trouble as a child learning, but then he went on to change the way we understand physics. Physics, I think. Then there's Donald Trump. No matter what you think of him, it's true that he had some terrible business failures before making a lot of money and finally becoming president. So in my answer, I gave 2 examples and explained why they match the question. Now, can I please encourage you to practice fluency and coherence? It is 25% of the score. I had never been to South America before, so I remember feeling so excited to get on the plane. You need to practice these sentences with me just to feel when the English speaker speaks all together and when the English speaker takes a break, has silence. When I was a little girl, I was quite shy. Where was the break? Where was the silence? You should know this. It is the comma. The comma in your mind, of course, because this is speaking, the comma indicates silence, no sound. When I was a little girl, I was quite shy. Speak with me. My father is an intelligent man with quite a good sense of humour. I'd really like to go to Russia because I've always been fascinated by the history, especially the revolution which changed everything. That's a good one to practice because it's got really, adverb, especially after a comma, after silence, and also a little relative clause at the end. All right, those sentences were more for part 2, and remember this video is about part 3. So these sentences are now from the answers about success. Speak them with me. Ready? 3, 2, 1. So it certainly plays a role, but it can be quite damaging to someone's confidence too. But, as I said before, success to me is having some control over your own life. For me, success is simply being able to do what you want to do when you want to. Having said that, I wouldn't want my children to fail. Did you use the commas in your mind to pause and then speak the phrases together fluently? Now, I just want to remind you that you need higher level vocabulary. This is an example from part 2. Describe a piece of music that is meaningful to you. Let me just move up here. Now, this table shows easy vocabulary. Look at more advanced vocabulary. So instead of fast, you could say really fast-paced. Instead of local, you could say local folk tune. Instead of strings, you could say stringed instruments. And I'm so sorry, I've just seen a spelling error. This one here should be a folk band. So can you see the difference between this easy vocabulary and this one, which will get you more like 6.5 or 7 in IELTS? What about this one? Do you think that politicians and journalists tell the truth? So this is more like part 3, right? Here is easy vocabulary, and here is harder vocabulary. So don't say people if you want a high score. No, say the public, the community. Don't say leader. Everyone can say leader. That's a baby English word. Say president or the prime minister or the chairman. I think I've made my point. All right. Use a mix of simple and complex sentences. There is an example. Use a couple of relative clauses to add information. See this one here? Which is great. Listen carefully to the examiner's questions to give you a clue for verb tense and time expression. Like, if the examiner asks, how do people get to work? This is present tense. Is this different from the past? So you have to show the examiner a variety of verb tenses. Nowadays, in my city, people mostly use the subway to commute. But just 20 years ago, there was no subway and commuters had to use the bus system, which, to be honest, was really inadequate. Present and past. And remember, the pronunciation is not just how you say the words, it's also how you stress and how you intonate, how you go high and low for meaning. A really interesting town. A totally captivating experience. I've always loved Latin American dancing. It's my firm belief, it's my firm belief that the government should take care of its citizens. Did you hear how I was stressing and using my voice to go high and low? Now, again, we've run out of time. It's a long time, the IELTS test, isn't it? Nearly 15 minutes, so I can't do everything. But here are some more questions that you can try by yourself. They are about a difficult topic, politics. So don't hesitate to email me and ask me any question that you would like. All right. So I'm here to help you. I also have writing products available, and you can contact me at that email address there. Bye.